to another video of World on Fire. We have some breaking news. It looks like Israel has moved ground troops inside of Lebanon. So as always, we will bring you the latest news here.
Okay, so far.
So give me just a second. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So far, and there's conflicting reports of this, Israel moving into Lebanon. They haven't moved everything into Lebanon. So let's be clear on that. There has been an incursion into Lebanon with ground troops and some armor as well. So that's where we're at right now. No word yet from Iran. This is just the initial phases of this. They have advanced so far to the town of Ramesh village. So that's where they entered and crossed over into Lebanon. So far,
okay, I do have some breaking news as of right now. Russian President Putin to hold an emergency meeting in Moscow in the next 10 minutes. His motorcade alongside a column of escorting police was filmed rushing through the streets of Moscow. Russia's prime minister, whatever his name is, was in Tehran today meeting with the Iranian president. Let me get that video for you guys.
Okay, Lebanon's minister tells Sky News that Israeli operations have started and that he has heard Israeli troops have been moving rapidly. This is into Lebanon.
Here is
IDF
that video
is firing flares.
Putin's motorcade.
Iraqi army has been placed on full alert. There's been reports of explosions in Baghdad. No confirmation on who from Baghdad or what was hit. So we don't know right now.
So I also have some live cameras that I want to show you all. This is cameras of the Lebanon-Israel border. It seems pretty quiet right now, but we did see explosions in these cameras earlier. As you can see over here as well, there are flights still over Tel Aviv, but northern Israel's airspace is completely closed. As long as southern Lebanon, it looks like their airspace is completely closed as well.
Yeah, Junior, if you could leave that up for a minute, the live shots.
Oh boy. Was not expecting ads.
Persistent artillery strikes across southern Lebanon. So they're hitting them really hard. And is Iran going to stay out of it? I don't know.
So far, we have not heard anything from Iran. We have not heard any statements.
No, we haven't. Nope.
That's kind of sketchy too, because usually by now Iran would have said something. Them being completely silent is alarming. Here's a video of artillery strikes across southern Lebanon. I believe this just happened.
I'm just seeing that footage. I'm seeing that footage of Putin's motorcade going to the Kremlin. And they are fucking flying. I mean, they are,
now,
must be doing 80 miles an hour.
It's not sure why Putin is being rushed for an emergency meeting, but from that report that we've seen, apparently their prime minister just talked to Iran. So after that meeting that they held with Iran, then Putin is rushed to the Kremlin. So I don't know.
That's what I think.
I don't know what really to make of that.
Yeah, that's what I think as well. I mean, there's nothing going on with Ukraine that's out of the norm. This is the only event why. And looking at that footage, can you bring that back up, Junior? Bring that footage back up if you can.
Yep, here is his
of that motorcade
rushing toward
look
toward the Kremlin.
Yes, look how many of them are and how fast they're going. The only reason I see that would happen is this event.
When they say
and
rushing,
possibly
they mean
Iran.
Rushing, they mean those streets.
Yes, rushing. Yes, they are. Wow. I mean, it could be unrelated, but sounds pretty serious.
I'm seeing reports of Israel also striking Gaza, but that's nothing out of the norm. So Israel is operating on two different fronts right now.
Explosions in Baghdad.
Yes, I'm
Iraqi
just
army
seeing that
put on
now.
high alert.
There are more. I don't know if this is a report from the earlier explosions, but now I'm seeing more reports of explosions happening in Baghdad, in the capital of Iraq, and the Iraqi army has been placed on full alert. So, again, getting into some politics now. So, American media, CNN, ABC, a couple of others were all putting out there that Israel's about to move into Lebanon, right? And giving away their positions and how much equipment and troops that they had. So now the Israeli media is saying ministers in the security cabinet expressed their dissatisfaction with leaks from American sources about the ground operation. So Israel is now pissed that America was leaking their military intel.
Okay, a number of medium-range rockets are firing from Lebanon to Hafia in Israel. Rockets, medium-range rockets.
Let me check that
from Hezbollah.
Let me check that.
No, I'm not seeing any red alerts.
I'm not
so
no red alerts. No,
so
neither am I. Neither am I. In Iran, locals are protesting over the president's inaction and unwillingness to confront Israel. There is
Lebanon's economy,
huge protest.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
There is widespread protest over Iran's president's inaction and unwillingness to confront. So, large protests calling on Iran to confront Israel.
Yes, and I honestly believe that Iran's new up. Now I'm getting red alerts. Now I'm getting red alerts.
Now I'm getting red alerts.
It looks like there's just one rocket attack along the border. Nothing too crazy. So what I was going to say is that Iran's new president, I truly believe, is a pacifist and a pussy. He's too scared to do anything because of how it would look politics side for Iran. Now, Iran did not do anything when Israel's Mossad assassinated a target in Tehran. And killed Hamas leader. They didn't do anything then. They didn't do anything during the Hezbollah and Israel pager attack. And as of right now, they're not doing anything about this either. So that's three times that Iran's not done anything. Iran very well could have left Hezbollah stand alone. Hezbollah could be the sacrificial lamb for Iran. They could not do anything here. And if Iran does not do anything, Israel's basically going to stomp all over Hezbollah and win this war and win this war quick.
Yeah, I'm seeing those
so
rocket
now
alerts
Israeli airstrikes are targeting the southern suburbs of Beirut. So now they are airstriking Beirut again.
Okay, reports of gunfire being heard on the
Okay, let me just go and scan Telegram here. Sirens are sounding in the Western Galilee in Israel, but I believe that's from that one rocket attack.
yeah, I'm seeing more on those airstrikes in southern Beirut. Large blast after warnings of Israeli strike.
Multiple raids.
Beirut, Yep. Explosions in Beirut now. Okay.
All right, Lebanese economy minister Amin Salam has told Sky News that operations have started, adding he's heard that the IDF is on the move and has the border lined with tanks. I have seen reports that these tanks have moved in. I have seen reports and pictures of troops moving in to Lebanon, but Israel has called a lid to all news on Israel's side. So the only real news we're going to get is from the Lebanese people, them filming the movements themselves, because Israel is called a lid.
Significant explosions can be heard and seen on live cameras from Lebanon.
So the Israeli Security Cabinet approved a limited ground operation in Lebanon. Now this did happen earlier. Now Israel keeps claiming that this is going to be a limited operation. I believe I'm not so sure about this, but I think they do the same thing with Gaza. We all know this is bullshit. This is just a prelude to a full-on ground invasion. Also, earlier news, the Lebanese military, I don't know what their official name is. They have retreated. They have pulled back all of their troops because they do not want any part of this. So as of right now, as it stands, Hezbollah does stand alone. More reports earlier as well. The Lebanese military forward operation bases that they had, they left behind, and I've seen reports of Hezbollah taking over these forward operation bases from the Lebanese military.
I've also seen reports that the UN has withdrawn from their positions. Israeli officials, the army plans to destroy all Hezbollah capabilities in southern Lebanon.
There are even more strikes now in Beirut as well. Still not much going on on the live cameras, though.
No, there's. Keep in mind there's a lid called, so no journalists, no video, no photos anywhere along the Israeli border. So we're not going to see movement of tanks on the side.
And those of you that are new to this whole war reporting type stuff, what a lid means is it basically means a media blackout. No Israel news, no Israel journalists, no nobody, no one from the military, no spokesman, no nothing. They're not saying anything to the media right now. I'm seeing more reports about this. I know we already talked about it, but now Mariv, I don't know how to say that correctly, reports that the Israeli Security Cabinet has officially approved a limited ground operation in Lebanon.
Israeli security cabinet ministers were not happy that the Americans leaked Israel's plan to enter Lebanon today.
Yes, Israel is pissed off at the U.S. like
and all day today,
vital military info.
They have all day today been announcing, the U.S. has, of what their plans were today, that they were going to enter Lebanon today. And you got to wonder, why would the U.S. do that? You know, why would you announce, anybody, your plans for war to the world?
To Israel's enemies.
All day today. Yes. I think the reason Poopy Pants did it and his band of morons, minions in his cabinet, obviously to let Iran know what they were doing and to try to calm Iran down through back channels before anything happened, so it wasn't a shock. I mean, but talk about putting Israel's military lives in jeopardy. What a joke. Total joke. This nutbag lunatic administration is. Unbelievable. Lebanese civilians have started to evacuate urban centers. I got a photo here. Let me share this here. So it seems like they're trying to get out of Dodge. The White House believes it has reached understandings with Israel on limiting the scope of the Israeli ground invasion to the border areas in southern Lebanon. Two sources with knowledge of the issue have came forward with. So, I mean, you got to smack your head. You got to smack your fucking head and say, the U.S. is meddling in this whole entire thing. This could have been over months ago, all of it. When they could have went in, they could have killed the terrorist, gotten Hamas out of there, gotten Hezbollah out. Every time the U.S. has meddled in it, came and made some peace deal or told him to back down, told Israel, no, don't do this, don't do that. And then today, announcing that they were going to invade Lebanon today to the entire world. It's been all over Twitter everywhere. U.S. officials.
I have some more videos
very well
here.
be today.
Some more videos here.
Video. I hear airstrikes.
Video.
Yeah, I'm seeing some video here. Of some artillery.
Yes, that does sound like artillery.
Yes, that does sound like artillery.
Large
reports
explosions.
earlier that artillery and tank fire was firing towards southern Lebanon towns as well.
Southern Lebanon towns as well.
All right, so a third wave of targeted airstrikes that just struck buildings in the southern suburbs of
Beirut.
I'm wondering why Putin is being rushed to the Kremlin right now.
I have a picture of tanks firing into southern Lebanon. I will get back to you and share all of that, but I actually have to go, but I will be right back.
I'm wondering why Putin was rushed to the Kremlin. And we're not finding anything other than he is there. So I'm imagining he's in meetings right now. Hopefully, we'll hear something soon about that. If we don't hear anything, that could be bad. So 155 millimeter howitzer shelling Lebanese villages, southern Lebanon. So, Deputy Chief of Staff of Israel, the coming days will be testing days, and we cannot predict where they will lead us. They're definitely going to have a large-scale war. Even though the White House says they've reached understandings, to limit it in scope, that's not how Israel's talking. Third wave of airstrikes has struck buildings in Beirut. And this is different. These airstrikes seem to be taking place all over, not just southern Lebanon, but across the country. So heavy Israeli airstrikes. And Al-Qassami, I think that's how you say that area. And here I got some video of that. I'll show it to you. Right here. That seems like a significant strike. Consecutive airstrikes in Beirut. It seems to me that they're going to make a very slow incursion into Lebanon. Along with airstrikes and artillery. But I think if we're expecting to see just all-out war, not yet. Yes, they've crossed the border. Yes, the Israeli military is inside of Beirut. There's also airstrikes going on at the same time. This is about like it was with Gaza. So seeing reports here, Hezbollah is targeting the movements of the Israeli enemy soldiers in the orchards opposite the town. They do know they're there, but I'm not seeing them strike back just yet. Wow, look at this. This is Beirut. This is that airstrike in Beirut, if you can see that video. Looks to be a residential area, but they did warn inmate. Yeah, you got some secondary explosions there. Looks like weapons. What they hit. Lebanon Prime Minister warns 1 million could be displaced by Israeli strikes. Heavy Israeli strikes in Beirut. Got some more video. Lebanon's National Emergency Committee coordinator says the displacement rate has dramatically increased in one day from 300,000 to 1 million displaced people. Just today.
All right, everyone. Sorry about that. I am back. Let me go get caught updated on everything that happened in the last few minutes. Okay, it looks like Israel is hitting Brute heavy now. Here is a picture of one of those airstrikes. This is in Brute. All right, so Israeli airstrike reported in Brute, audio audible on Sky News live broadcasts. I think I have every stream of Brute. Let me see if I could find another. Yep, I think I have all of the live streams I could possibly get my hands on for Brute. No, I do not. I found some more cameras. Okay, here is way better cameras. And this is by Cron and Phonics. So if you want to go and watch these videos yourself, I will put a link in the chat. Here is a video of the airstrikes on these cameras, actually, that what took place just a few minutes ago. Here is a better video of that explosion that took place a few moments ago. Huge airstrike. And again, one more time, this is in Beirut. It looks like secondary explosions there too. Here is a picture of smoke billowing. This might be from that same airstrike. There's some smoke here, and there's also some more smoke over here, it looks like. Here is another video of smoke billowing. It looks like this was close to Beirut's airport as well. Here is another picture. Huge smoke plume. All right, here is a report from Iran. Iran's supreme leader, Ali Khamenei, did not like the idea of not responding to the assassination of Hamas leader Ismail Haniyeh. Influential Iranian hardliner Mohammed Jihad, whatever his name is, suggested. We were fooled, he added, and they bought time with the promise of a ceasefire. It's a statement from Iran talking about the assassination attempt of Ismail Haniyeh. Here is another video of this might be another angle of that same airstrike. So now there are new airstrikes in the suburbs of Beirut. All right, so here's a report. Hezbollah has not asked for any help from Iran. They're at our side, Hezbollah lawmaker Hassan Fad, whatever his name is, says. So here's another report. Hezbollah, we targeted the movements of Israeli enemy soldiers in Bayistan Accords, opposite the towns of a bunch of other towns, with appropriate weaponry, achieving confirmed hits. That is a statement by Hezbollah. So there were reports earlier of explosions happening at Baghdad International Airport. It looks like people are coming out and saying that those reports were false. Now, I do believe that there were explosions in Baghdad, but not at their airport. All right, so now there are unconfirmed reports of explosions heard in Baghdad following an attack on U.S. forces stationed at Camp Victoria near Baghdad International Airport. So now there are renewed air raids against Beirut, close to Rafiq Hariri International Airport. Israeli channels report that Israeli war cabinet has approved the next stage of operations for the IDF in Lebanon. I'm seeing more reports of the supposed rocket attack that targeted Victory Base that hosts U.S. forces in Baghdad. Now, there have been quite a few airstrikes tonight in Beirut, but this is nothing compared to what we've seen the last few days. Okay, so now there's reports indicating an attack by Iranian-backed militias targeting U.S. forces near Baghdad. So now we are getting reports saying that Iranian-backed militias are targeting U.S. forces in Baghdad. So in these last few minutes, a total of 7 airstrikes have been reported by Israel. Here are some more videos and picture. Well, not videos, but pictures of those supposed airstrikes. We've seen this one earlier. So now I'm seeing reports of sirens ringing out at Victory Base in Baghdad. And explosions are being heard at that base as well. Another airstrike on the cameras. I'm hearing more explosions on the cameras. There have been no red alerts in Israel for 47 minutes now. Another interesting thing, too, is that we've not heard anything about Israel's invasion into Lebanon for quite some time now. Israel has renewed their airstrikes against Lebanon, and we're seeing reports of attacks of attacks in Baghdad of U.S. forces being targeted, but we have not heard anything about Lebanon, about Israel invading Lebanon. Not for a while, anyway. Okay, so now there's a report saying 7 missiles were launched during 5 separate attacks in the last hour in Beirut. All right, so the Lebanese Minister of Health is now reporting that 95 people have died and 172 others have been injured due to Israeli airstrikes targeting Hezbollah on Monday, which is, of course, today. Here is that official statement I was talking about earlier from Hezbollah. It's basically saying that Hezbollah fighters targeted enemy soldiers moving through the orchards opposite of different towns with appropriate weapons, inflicting definitive losses on them. So I don't know if this means that this is referring to Israel's ground operations into Lebanon and Hezbollah targeted them. That's what this seems like, though. So it looks like Israel is encountering some resistance. I have a statement from the Iranian foreign minister. I'm not sure if this is new, if this is true or not, but here's a report. The Iranian foreign minister said, "We do not fear war, but we do not want to start it." There were reports earlier of Israel using phosphorus ammunition as well in southern Lebanon. Here's a video of them supposedly using phosphorus in southern Lebanon. This could be bullshit, but I did see quite a few reports earlier saying that Israel was using white phosphorus. Looks like more airstrikes on the cameras. Just seeing more reports of the supposed rocket attack targeting U.S. forces in Baghdad. Still nothing concrete, though, and I haven't seen any videos or pictures of it. So this airstrike that we saw earlier supposedly destroyed 8 buildings. Still very little news about Israel's ground operation. All right, so here's another report about the attack in Baghdad. A rocket attack was conducted against Camp Victory at Baghdad International Airport, targeting U.S. forces based there. 4 rockets were fired. One impact from these rockets was on the Iraqi counterterrorism building. So, British Foreign Office, evacuation of nationals from Lebanon begins. It's kind of too late for that, but as of right now, it looks like the British are trying to evacuate their citizens. Here's a video of a rocket attack from Israel that hit about 30 minutes ago. It looks like Israel is getting some more red alerts now. Looks like it was just one rocket attack, and it was on the border, so nothing significant. Okay, so the UK embassy in Beirut has announced that a chartered evacuation flight will arrive at Beirut International Airport on Wednesday, with seats currently available for British nationals who remain in Lebanon and wish to still evacuate. I don't think you guys can hear audio. Give me a second. Let me fix that. Give me just a second here. Okay, now you guys should be able to hear audio. Sorry about that. All right, so Lebanon security source says at least 6 Israeli strikes hit South Beirut. Here is a video of Israelis celebrating the invasion in Lebanon. Yep, it looks like they're pretty excited about everything that's going on right now. Looks like an airplane flying very low altitude. Might be landing at Beirut International Airport. The worst possible time an airplane could land at that airport is right now, and they're landing. A source in the Iraqi counterterrorism service confronted the missiles that caused damage to some cars without human loss. And now there's more reports of artillery shelling in southern Lebanon. All right, guys, I've been going here for a minute. I'm going to take a small break, but I will be right back. All right. Sorry about that. All right, so Lebanese news agency Israeli raids on the southern suburbs destroyed residential complexes in the targeted areas. So Israel has destroyed residential complexes, it looks like, in southern Lebanon. Now, Israel has given ample warning and telling the citizens of Beirut and southern Lebanon to leave. Israel warned their citizens that they were going to strike. So if anyone's still there, I'm sorry, but that's their fault. Israel told them, what, 4 or 5 days ago to leave, and if they're still there, then sorry, Israel warned you. If I was living in Beirut and an enemy country said, hey, we're about to strike the town that you're living in, I wouldn't stay there. I'd do everything that I could to leave. So here's a Lebanese source: unprecedented spread of Hezbollah snipers everywhere. So Hezbollah snipers are looking for the Israeli troops entering their borders, looks like. Here is a video of one of the airstrikes earlier. Pretty significant strikes.
يا الله هيدا المشروع اللي قالوا عنه يا الله شو ها يا وحدين لا في صاروا 2 ضربات موزعين بين هون وهون 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 وبدي اقول انه في صعيد انا ماني قدام الكاميرا لانه انا ماني قدام الكاميرا ما رح اقدر اطلع قدام الكاميرا ابدا. نعم دار من موقع الجغرافي المطل على الضاحية الجنوبية. اسمح لي أن أقول أن 8 غارات استهدف بها العدو الإسرائيلي مناطق الضاحية الجنوبية. كنا قبل
Still hearing very little news and reports of this Israeli ground operation.
وبئر العبد إحدى هذه الغارات والتي شنها العدو الإسرائيلي على منطقة الليلكي أحدثت دخانا أسود تصاعد في مختلف أنحاء العاصمة بيروت وما زلنا حتى هذه اللحظة يمكن أن نرى السحب الدخانية السوداء ترتفع فوق الضاحية الجنوبية. هذا الاستهداف أتى بعد بيان لجيش العدو الإسرائيلي على لسان.
So it looks like Lebanon News is reporting continuous Israeli artillery shelling in southern Lebanon.
إلى جميع المتواجدين في المباني المحددة في الخرائط التي نشرها والمباني المجاورة لها وفي الأحياء بالمناطق التالية: الليلكة، حارة حريك، وبرج البراجنة. وتوجه إلى سكان الضاحية الجنوبية بقول: أنتم متواجدون بالقرب من مصالح ومنشآت تابعة لحزب الله، ولذلك سوف يعمل الجيش الإسرائيلي ضدها بقوة من أجل سلامتكم.
So this might be a picture of the U.S. Victory base in Baghdad being hit. This might be a picture of that base being hit, but I'm not sure.
هذا التصعيد أتى بعد إلقاء الطيران الحربي الإسرائيلي عشرات البالونات الحرارية في أجواء العاصمة.
Here is that picture.
الليلكة، برج البراجنة، الرويس، وبئر العبد. أعيد وأذكر لارا أن الضربة الأقوى التي هزت أرجاء الضاحية الجنوبية ومختلف أرجاء العاصمة بيروت كانت على الليلكة، وهي التي أدت إلى تصاعد الدخان الأسود الذي ما زلنا حتى الآن نشاهده بعدسة الزميل هادي درويش.
All right, so in Lebanon, 13 buildings are reported to have been destroyed so far during the attacks within the last hour.
وبناء على تقييم الوضع قرر الإعلان عن فرض منطقة عسكرية مغلقة.
So the Wall Street Journal, citing an Israeli official, Israel believes that Hezbollah is preparing in a manner similar to Hamas's preparations before the October 7th attacks.
التصعيد في الاستهدافات على مناطق الضاحية الجنوبية. مناطق الضاحية الجنوبية في هذه الأثناء في حالة من السواد الحالق.
So Iraqi Minister of Transport denies suspension of air traffic at Baghdad International Airport. This was being reported by Al Arabiya, and it looks like that report by Al Arabiya was false.
المشهد الذي يخيم على الضاحية الجنوبية هو الدخان الأسود الذي استهدف به العاصمة.
So it looks like there is heavy reports of heavy artillery shelling now in southern Lebanon as well.
في مختلف أرجاء العاصمة بيروت. لارا، نحن نتحدث عن 8 غارات موزعة بين 4 مناطق: الليلكة، برج البراجنة، الرويس، وبئر العبد. لم نتمكن حتى الآن من معرفة المواقع التي استهدفها جيش العدو الإسرائيلي. لم تعرف على ماذا تحتوي هذه المواقع. هل هي مواقع سكنية أو هي مواقع عسكرية تابعة لحزب الله، كما كان يدعي جيش العدو الإسرائيلي بأنه سيستهدف مواقع عسكرية تابعة لحزب الله. الدخان الأسود ما زال يتصاعد في مختلف أرجاء الضاحية الجنوبية. يمكن أن نقول لارا أن مناطق الضاحية خالية تماما من سكانها، وذلك بعد الأيام التي شهدت تصعيدا في الضربات العدوانية على الضاحية الجنوبية، وتحديدا منذ ليل 23 من أيلول. لم نشاهد حتى.
Here is a video of artillery fire in southern Lebanon.
Much.
I don't think you can see the explosions in this, but you can hear them.
твою мать. الإسرائيلي قبل نصف ساعة من الآن لم تحدد حتى الآن. لم نتمكن من معرفة طبيعة المواقع المستهدفة التي قرر هذه المرة العدو الإسرائيلي أن
U.S. defense official to Sky News Arabia, we informed Lebanese Army Command of the need to accept unconditional ceasefire.
أعيد وأكرر لارا أن إنذارا عاجلا كان جيش العدو الإسرائيلي قد توجه به إلى سكان الضاحية الجنوبية في بيروت وإلى جميع المتواجدين في المباني المحددة وعلى الخرائط التي نشرها جيش العدو الإسرائيلي والمباني المجاورة لها في أحياء الليلكي وحارة حريك وبرج البراجنة. وتوجه إلى سكان
I'm getting reports of more Israeli raids in southern Lebanon.
من مصالح ومنشآت تابعة لحزب الله ولذلك سوف يعمل الجيش الإسرائيلي ضدها بقوة.
Okay, so Channel 12 Israel is saying about 10 rockets were fired from Lebanon and fell in open areas in northern Israel. Let's see if there's any red alerts for that. No, there haven't been any red alerts for Israel for about 30 minutes now.
إذا نحن أمام 8 غارات إسرائيلية شنها العدو الإسرائيلي على 4 مناطق في نواحي الضاحية الجنوبية الليلكي برج البراجنة الرويس وبئر العبد. أقوى هذه الضربات العدوانية كانت على الليلكي التي تصاعد منها دخان أسود في مختلف أنحاء العاصمة بيروت والتي لم يعرف حتى الآن طبيعة الموقع المستهدف. هل هو موقع عسكري تابع لحزب الله كما كان يدعي جيش العدو الإسرائيلي بأنه سيستهدف أم موقع سكني يعني في قلب المواقع السكنية داخل الضاحية الجنوبية.
Okay, so Lebanon channels are now saying that Israeli recon aircraft are flying at low altitude over the southern suburbs and over the capital of Beirut.
عدم وجود أي حركة لأي من سيارات الإسعاف والصليب الأحمر في مواقع المناطق المستهدفة.
Okay, so I'm seeing another report. It says Israel is now preparing for a ground attack in Lebanon and the White House has been informed. Isn't Israel already inside Lebanon? Question mark.
كانت قد تمكنت كاميرا المصور هاري درويش من التقاط أولى لحظات الضربة العدوانية الأكبر على الليلكي والتي تصاعد منها الدخان الأسود ولف مختلف أرجاء العاصمة بيروت. من هنا من الموقع الجغرافي المطل على مختلف مناطق الضاحية الجنوبية كنا قد واكبنا الضربات 8 منذ بدايتها منذ حوالي الساعة من الآن. لم يكد تمر دقائق.
Okay, this is from Al Maiden. Maydeen, I don't really know how to say that. Our photographer filmed the destruction of the destroyed tanks, but out of concern for the lives of the resistance youth, we will not publish it. After the resistance intensively targeted the enemy's movements in the Orchards opposite the towns of whatever towns. Enemy helicopters were spotted moving behind the targeted area, and it is likely that they were to transport casualties from the place. And according to an eyewitness, the chopping was done, God willing. So I don't know if this is talking about possible Israeli tanks being destroyed within Lebanon. I'm not really sure what this is referencing. But that is from Al Mayadeen.
نعم لا
هذا المايك بيحاول يقرر انه يطلع يسار عشان تروح اعطيك صوت اعطيتها هي اعطيتها هلا رواق ما في صوت اعطي
Okay, so this is coming from NBC. Hezbollah forces withdrew from border villages without any resistance. Okay, so this is from Al Manor. Zionist artillery shelling targeted areas near the border. This is from I Might Be. Thank you for covering this stuff. I like that you grabbed as many live feeds as you could. Yes, these are all of the live cameras that I could find, all mashed into one. If I am missing a live cam, please link that in the comments, and I will be showing, again, as many live cameras as I possibly can. As of right now, it seems like it's pretty quiet on these live cameras, but I'm still seeing reports of strikes and artillery shells in Beirut and southern Lebanon. But I haven't seen anything really happen on these cameras within the last probably 20 minutes. Here is another video of Israelis celebrating the Lebanon invasion. All right, the Israeli Defense Force ground movements into Lebanon will be significant but not major, a senior U.S. official told ABC News. Ground operations in Lebanon will be significant, but not major U.S. official. The Israel Defense Forces ground movements into Lebanon will be significant, but not major, a senior U.S. official told ABC News. The operations will be limited, the official said, with small unit special forces commando teams that will go against Hezbollah fighters, weapon caches, and long-range missile sites. They will also have air power and backup, the official added. I still think that this whole invasion is a prelude to a total invasion of Lebanon. They started off with Gaza with a small operation and small scale ground invasion. And then it turned out to be like their entire military invading Gaza. So I think what Israel's doing right now is just testing the waters. But again, these last, probably the last hour or so now, I've not seen much news about Israel's invasion into Lebanon. We've only really been seeing airstrikes, but I've seen very little news about this invasion. Now, Israel did call a lid to all news media within Israel, so that could play a part of it. But even then, if Israel did call a lid, we should still be seeing news being reported from the Lebanese people. So now I'm seeing more reports of artillery shelling in the Gaza Strip. So it looks like Israel is also operating in Gaza. Okay, so now the IDF is deploying flares in southern Lebanon.
أدوم.
Alarm. Zarit.
Looks like Israel is getting more red alerts. It is in Zarit, but it looks like it's only one rocket attack. One rocket. Only one rocket. It looks like we have some smoke plumes in this cloud, in this area over here. All right, so here, let me share this. All right, Najib Makati, whatever his name is, meets with the Lebanese army commander in the operations room and announces, "We are in a state of war and we call on Israel to back down." So if Lebanon themselves is in a state of war, then why did they pull all their troops back? Here is a video of an attack in Iraq. Not sure if this is in relation to the Victory U.S. forces base being attacked. This was filmed in Iraq. Apparently from a rocket launcher attack. All right, so Israel has just bombed the vicinity of the Beirut International Airport. There is a video. Here's that video. Looks like this right here might be... Yeah, I see planes right down there. That's a plane. Right next to the international airport. Here's another video of Israelis celebrating this invasion. So, yep, Israeli citizens are very happy about this invasion into Lebanon. And they have the right to be so, too. They've been under attack by Hezbollah for weeks, if not months now. And something finally being done about it, yes, the Israeli citizens are happy. All right, guys, I am going to take a break, but I will be right back. Okay. All right. So, Lebanese news agency is saying Israeli aircraft flying over Beirut and its southern suburbs. All right, so Lebanese sources, Hezbollah fires at a military target near the Zarit barracks in northern Israel.
צבע אדום. צבע אדום.
Alarm. Nitwa. Shtula.
Netua and Shutula. Looks like there's some more rocket attacks. Northern Israel. Just 2 though. All right, so this is why we're getting very little news on Israel's movements. The latest developments regarding the Israeli army's ground movements, with instructions issued to ministers not to talk about what is happening on the northern front of the border with Lebanon, monitored by journalist, whatever journalist's name is. So yes, Israel has it have a lid on all news, and that's why we're getting very limited information on Israel's ground movements. But it is happening right now. All right, so NBC is quoting U.S. officials. It appears that the ground invasion in Lebanon has begun. Pretty sure that's what we've been covering for the last hour, if not more. So I don't know why NBC News is so late to the party. Just heard an explosion in one of the cameras. More explosions. All right, violent clashes on the Lebanese border. A Dashi crossing after Israeli forces were targeted by a well-planned ambush by Hezbollah, resulting in a number of injuries and deaths among the enemy. Looks like these two are flares. Very heavy gunfire, but I'm not sure. Don't take that video with a grain of salt. That video might be old, as in a couple of years old. I don't know if that is a brand new video of showing what's happening right now on the border.
צבע אדום.
Alarm. צבעון. מירון.
Looks like more red alert for Israel right now.
סאסא. Sde Meron School. Merom HaGalil Regional Center. Tziv'on.
Three rocket attacks in the upper Galilee. All right, so it looks like there was not 3, but 5 rocket attacks in Israel 3 minutes ago. 6 rocket attacks. A total of 6 rocket attacks in Israel the last 5 minutes.
لا 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 لا
Okay, so Hezbollah's target was Israel's Meron air base.
لا ما بدي على الارض.
And it looks like a siren sounded in Elliot, southern Israel. And the only reason sirens would be sounding there is if the Yemen Houthis launch something. But I'm not seeing that here, so that could be bullshit. All right, so now Israeli officials are saying that the ground operation has begun in southern Israel. Israeli ground operation in southern Lebanon started, Israeli officials said. I'm not sure how the situation is on the ground. Yep, because we have no idea what is happening on the ground there because they called a lid. Okay, Axios is now reporting the same thing, that the ground operation has begun. NBC is reporting again that the ground invasion has begun. Okay, here is an official statement from the IDF. In accordance with a decision of the political echelon, a few hours ago, the IDF began limited, localized, and targeted ground raids based on precise intelligence against Hezbollah terrorist targets and infrastructure in southern Lebanon. These targets are located in villages close to the border and pose an immediate threat to Israeli communities in northern Israel. The IDF is operating according to a methodical plan set out by the General Staff of the Northern Command, which IDF soldiers have trained and prepared for in recent months. The Israeli Air Force and IDF artillery are supporting the ground forces with precise strikes on military targets in the area. These operations were approved and carried out in accordance with the decision of the political echelon. Operation Northern Arrow, parallel to combat in Gaza and in other arenas. The IDF is continuing to operate to achieve the goals of the war, doing everything necessary to defend the citizens of Israel and return the citizens of northern Israel to their homes. That is an official statement by the IDF. Still no word from Iran, and that's still alarming. You know, Iran always has something to say. Why are they not saying anything now? I don't know why Israel would, well, I guess I do kind of know why Israel would announce that they are starting their ground operations now to confuse Hezbollah, but I think these limited ground operations, as they like to call it, has been going on for a while now. But now they are officially announcing that it's happening.
المربط الزعورة الزعورة والزعورة الزعورة الزعورة في
Here's a video of a missile impacting in Marion, Israel. Sirens in the distance. Yeah, those don't look like interceptions. It looks like those missiles hit their target. Quite a few missiles. Okay, Al Jazeera's camera in southern Lebanon monitors the raids and illuminating bombs on the town of Ramish. Looks like these are, yep, these are illuminating bombs.
إذن الصورة هي معنا، ولكن هناك عمليات قصف. إذن نشاهد الآن الصورة بطريقة أوضح، يبدو بأنها قنبلة مضيئة ألقيت وسقطت على الأرض، وواضح يعني من أن الظلام دامس، ولكن هذه القنبلة المضيئة تشرح إذن لنا أكثر عن هذا الاستهداف بهذه القنابل. كارمل معنا الآن.
نعم سلمى، وقصف جديد. نعم سلمى، إذن نعم. القصف المدفعي يتجدد، وأيضا القصف بالقنابل المضيئة يتجدد، ويمكن أن نرصد بعدسة الكاميرا إحدى هذه القنابل التي تستمر قوات الاحتلال الإسرائيلي بإلقائها. كما أننا نسمع قصفا بعيدا نسبيا، وأيضا الطيران المسير يمكن أن نسمعه بشكل جلي في أجواء رميش في القطاع الأوسط. كنت أحدثك قبل قليل وأخبرك عن الواقع المرتبط بهذا القصف المدفعي الكثيف. كان كثيفا قبل إلقاء هذه القذائف، وتلاه أيضا موجة أخرى من التمشيط بالرشاشات الثقيلة من المواقع الإسرائيلية. هذا الواقع يتكرر، هذا المشهد يتكرر بين الفينة والأخرى. اليوم هناك ترقب عند هذه الجبهة. رميش تقع عند الحدود مباشرة، إذن أي دخول بري هي معنية، وبطبيعة الحال من شأن أي تداول معي.
سنشاهد هذه الصور وهي مستمرة معنا.
ولا حد انا بطلع ولا حد
Okay, I'm seeing more reports of Israel using white phosphorus in southern Lebanon. Okay, so intensive artillery firing by Hezbollah on the border front line opposite of some town and the surrounding forests. Still not a word from Iran. Hours later, not a word. Here is a statement by the Prime Minister of Israel. The people of Israel, a nation of lions, rose from their ambush and struck our enemies. Over the past year, Hezbollah terrorists have murdered dozens of Israelis, fired thousands of rockets at us, dismantled Metula, Shamul, and different names, despoiled us and emptied the north of the country of its inhabitants. So far, every IDF soldier who has ever crossed the border fence into Lebanese soil knows that he is doing so for the sacred mission to protect the citizens of Israel. This is from the Prime Minister of Israel.
الرمل الزيادة بالأبيض ما بيصلح في التكهن لكن تقطعنا على
It's pretty quiet in Beirut, and has been pretty quiet in Beirut for a while now. There are reports of explosions being heard above Damascus, Syria. Initial reports of explosions and air defense activity over the Syrian capital of Damascus. More report, Syrian sources, Syrian air defenses take off over Damascus. Syrian air defenses were activated over Damascus, confronting hostile projectiles. Syrian media air defenses intercept targets in Damascus skies. There's been no official confirmation where these projectiles come from, but it's obvious it's from Israel. Syrian media. Israeli warplanes from above the occupied Golan are targeting the outskirts of the capital Damascus with missiles, and air defense systems are operating. Explosions in Damascus as Syrian air defenses confront Israeli aggression. The aggression targeted the Mazi area in the vicinity of the capital Damascus.
كمان الغارات الإسرائيلية ضربت الضاحية الجنوبية في أحد الأحياء الرئيسية. هذه الأحياء التي حذر منها الجيش الإسرائيلي أو حذر سكانها بضرورة الرحيل والخروج والابتعاد عنها مسافة 500 متر. الحصيلة لغاية هذه اللحظة بأن حي.
According to local reports, Israeli raids are targeting Iranian-backed militia positions in Damascus. Explosions were heard in the city.
هذه المواقع الثلاث تتحدث عن الليلة وحرب وغوث البراجنة. هذه المواقع أيضا حذر منها الجيش الإسرائيلي من 3 أيام وقصفها الجزء الثاني، وها هي تقصف مرة أخرى. في السياق نفسه سمعنا أيضا أو صدر أيضا بيان من حزب الله يقول بأنه استهدف مواقع للميليشيات ومواقع عسكرية للجيش الإسرائيلي.
I'm hearing some explosions in the cameras now too. But it's still been relatively quiet for all the live cams we have. Alright, so this is Israel Hayom. Don't know who that is. Infantry forces entered Lebanese territory with air and artillery support.
وأيضا يفتاح وغيره. هذه العملية المكثفة لحزب الله التي أتت قبيل أو قبل هذا الاجتياح يبدو أنها كانت ترسل رسالة أخرى للإسرائيليين، وجاء الاجتياح الآن الذي بالمناسبة
More reports of explosions happening in the skies of Damascus.
ترقب وبخوف هذا الاجتياح. وهناك أيضا تساؤل لدى الكثير ممن تحدثنا معهم أنهم ينظرون إلى هذا الاجتياح بعين الريبة. نعم.
Here is, you can't see explosions, but you can hear them in this camera from Damascus, Syria.
خليكم صلة الضاحية. أطلع عن صلة الضاحية صح؟ لا هذه أفضل يعني هذه الموقع افضل من المهم بدراستي هذا الله يرضى عليك بس انا اطلع خلصت البدايه خلاص.
Here is a picture of one of the explosions in Syria. Okay, now I'm seeing reports of the IDF firing flares in southern Lebanon. In whatever town this is called. So yes, this ground operation in southern Lebanon, Israel is calling it Operation Northern Arrow. Here is a video from one of the earlier airstrikes in Meron, targeting an Israeli base in northern Israel. I did not see this angle of the rocket attack yet. There's not been a rocket attack in Israel for 35 minutes. And I think the rocket attack in Meron was the last. Yes, 35 minutes ago is when that attack happened. So Al Arabia is saying that Israeli tanks heard in border areas in southern Lebanon. Here's a picture of the strikes targeting Damascus a few minutes ago. No, you can't really see it. You can't really see the explosion, but there is a smoke plume there in Damascus. Kind of looks like a skull even. kind of ominous. That smoke plume kind of looks like a skull. Here's a picture of Israeli tanks. Israeli Heiziters in the upper Galilee region of northern Israel firing on Hezbollah positions. There's a picture of an Israeli tank. I am hearing some airstrikes in the cameras again. There is a lot going on right now. A whole lot going on right now. We just barely know about it because Israel called a lid. And it has been quiet in all of these camps, too, for a while now. The Israel army is penetrating from 3 axes and reaching the outskirts of the border villages in southern Lebanon. And the destination in the town of whatever town where Hezbollah militia is entrenched, near the Golan Heights. Axios is quoting an Israeli official, the ground operation is focused and limited and is not aimed to occupy southern Lebanon. So the Israeli forces are saying that they do not plan to stay in southern Lebanon. Here is a picture of the explosion that occurred in Damascus a few moments ago. All right. United States Secretary of Defense is bolstering U.S. defense capabilities in the Middle East, warning Iran and its terror proxies not to expand conflict in the region. Some of the augmented forces being sent to the region include F-16, F-15E, and F-22 fighter jets, as well as A-10 attack aircraft and associated personnel. The U.S. I've seen reports of the U.S. sending thousands of troops to the Middle East. Don't know if that's true, but there are definitely troop movements by the United States to the Middle East. Do we have an aircraft carrier over there? I don't think we have an aircraft carrier currently in the Middle East. Okay, so the only aircraft carrier that we had in the Middle East was the USS Theodore Roosevelt, and it's no longer in the Middle East. The Pentagon recently brought back the Theodore Roosevelt after a short extension of its deployment. The decision to keep 2 aircraft carriers in the region was a rare move that was made in response to the Israel-Hamas war and the threat of attacks from Iran and its proxies. So that was a couple weeks ago. Has anything changed since then? That was talking about a second aircraft carrier, but what about the first one? One of 2 U.S. aircraft carrier strike groups deployed to the Middle East, in part to deter Iran from carrying out a threatened attack against Israel, has departed the region, the Pentagon said on Thursday. Now, this was September 12th. The decision to end the dual carrier presence came nearly 3 weeks after U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin ordered the Theodore Roosevelt carrier strike group to remain in the Middle East, even after the arrival of the Abraham Lincoln aircraft carrier strike group to replace it. Okay, Abraham Lincoln, is that still there? That is the name of the first aircraft carrier. Okay, the Pentagon previously announced that it is keeping the USS Abraham Lincoln aircraft carrier strike group, which carries F-35 Charlie Lightning II and FA-18 Echo Foxtrot Super Hornet fighters in the Middle East. So it looks like the Abraham Lincoln is still there. Okay, so this is news from just yesterday, 12 hours ago. The Fleet Oiler assigned to the Abraham Lincoln Carrier Strike Group was damaged off the coast of Oman in the Arabian Sea on Monday, Navy officials confirmed to USNI News. The USNS Bighorn was anchored off the coast of Oman after suffering an underwater alation to the stern of the oiler, the official told USNI News. The Navy now plans to use tugs to move the oiler to a nearby port. A replenished oiler sustained damage while operating at sea in the U.S. Fifth Fleet area of operations overnight on September 23rd. All crew members are currently safe, and U.S. Fifth Fleet is assessing the situation, according to a statement from the Navy official providing to USNI News. How many times do you have to tell us USNI News? A report at the maritime news site G Captain published photos and videos of a flooded engine space and a ruptured rudder. Posts that users said were from Monday's Bighorn incident. A Navy official did not dispute the accuracy of the photos, but would not confirm they came from Bighorn as of Tuesday morning. So that was, I believe, this last Tuesday, which was the 24th. And here is a video of that oiler. So it looks like the Abraham Lincoln Carrier Strike Group is still there, and they were off the coast of Oman a week ago. But they are very far south in the Gulf of Oman. It would take them a while to get close to. Take them a few days probably to get into close position of Israel to protect Israel. But I don't think we have any aircraft carriers in the Mediterranean Sea right now. They have the U.S. has been sending a lot of fighter jets and equipment to Cyprus, so that's probably why they don't have an aircraft carrier there. But yes, the USS Abraham Lincoln is actually quite far away from Israel right now. I think that's the only aircraft carrier we have over there. Explosions were heard in Tel Aviv. But there hasn't been any rocket attacks for 51 minutes. At least not any red alerts. Israeli air defense intercept projectile off the coast of Tel Aviv. All right, so now there's reports of IDF tanks entering villages on the border. So they're still pushing. They're not like holding ground. They're still advancing. So Al Maydeen correspondent, what the Israeli media reports about ground operations near the border is false. Al Maydeen, whatever, however you say that, they do post a lot of fake news from time to time, but I do think that they are correct about this. Israel is not going to tell you the truth right now about what's happening with their ground operations in Lebanon. One, for fog of war stuff, and two, not to let Hezbollah know what they're doing and what they're going to do next. Okay, so here is a post about all the equipment and troops that we're sending to the Middle East, the U.S. So, U.S. force posture as Israel begins ground operations in Lebanon, deploying an additional few thousand U.S. troops. I don't think I've seen where those troops are exactly going. I think I've only seen reports of them going to the Middle East. So, most likely they're going to Cyprus, but who knows where they're exactly going. They're also sending more F-15 Echo, F-16, F-22 Raptors, and A-10 squadrons. ABE, CSG, and WASP, ARG remaining on station. Truman, CSG, in the Atlantic en route. Increased readiness of additional U.S. forces to deploy. So they're talking about sending even more. DoD, Department of Defense, has taken steps to further enhance the defense posture of U.S. forces in the Middle East region to deter aggression and reduce the risk of a border regional war. So the U.S. is, and I've seen multiple reports of this, U.S. is apparently sending thousands of troops to the Middle East. I don't think they disclose the actual number they're sending, though. So the airstrike that targeted Damascus a few minutes ago, 10, 20 minutes ago, apparently that was an assassination attempt. All right, so reports that Yemen launched a ballistic missile at Tel Aviv, but there was no red alert even. That's interesting for there not to be a red alert for that. Yeah, there was no red alert for that. Here is another video of the assassination attempt, I guess is what they're calling it now, in Syria. Looks like that's a car on fire. So whoever was in that car, they hit their target. They're dead. No one could survive that.
اجا الشرطة.
Israeli media is saying it seems we are fighting ghosts. Talks of IDF retreating after crossing the border. It could be bullshit. I'm just stating it because I see it as a report. New explosions are being heard in Damascus. Here is a video of Israeli tanks being staged at the northern border. This obviously is not recent. This could be a few days ago to a few hours ago. I honestly don't know when this was taken, but obviously it was taken before the ground operations began. All right, so now I'm seeing reports that missile fired from Yemen could have been a hypersonic missile. Now, that would make more sense as to why there's no red alert. But they did intercept the missile. How the fuck did Yemen terrorists get their hands on a supersonic missile or hypersonic missile? If it was a hypersonic missile fired from Yemen, it would reach Tel Aviv in about around 11 minutes. Here is a story about the last supposed hypersonic missile the Yemen Houthis fired at Israel a few days or weeks ago. This was September 17th is when they supposedly fired a hypersonic missile. So on Sunday, Yemen's Ansar Allah, commonly known as the Houthis, launched what they said was a hypersonic missile at central Israel. It caused fires, triggered air raid sirens, and sent residents running for shelters in the area around Ben Gurion Airport. The Houthis said Israeli defense systems could not take down their missile. An Israeli official said 9 people suffered minor injuries. The Houthis have been attacking ships. We all know that. Blah, 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 blah. The Houthis claimed they launched a hypersonic ballistic missile that flew 2,000 kilometers, 1,240 miles from Yemen to central Israel in 11 minutes. Israel said the missile was not hypersonic, adding that it did not maneuver in flight, according to the Times of Israel. Unless Russia or North Korea pass this technology to the Houthis, it's more likely that the missile in question is supersonic. Mohammed al-Bashha, senior Middle East analyst for the Navanti Group, told Al Jazeera. Supersonic missiles rely on conventional rocket motors and control systems, whereas hypersonic missiles demand advanced material capable of withstanding extreme thermal, mechanical, and acoustic stress at high speeds. Verification would depend on confirmation of tracking the missile. If it exceeded Mach 5, that would indicate the Houthis have acquired hypersonic technology, al-Bashha said. He added the design of the Houthis' Palestine missile series closely mirrors Iran's medium-range ballistic missiles. It could be a hybrid with front fins and the warhead resembling the Fateh 110, while the rear fins are similar to the whatever other missile. The Houthis have added distinct markings, including a black and white checkered something pattern and the flag and map of Palestine. So this is from where they supposedly launched their last hypersonic missile at Israel, and Israel saying that it was not a hypersonic missile. But that one did trigger red alerts, and I was there for that. I saw it as it happened. But if this supposed missile that was targeting Israel was hypersonic, it's very interesting that even then it did not trigger a air raid alert. If this is even true, of course. If Yemen even did launch a missile at Tel Aviv. Here is a video from way earlier when Hezbollah targeted Hafia. That was from earlier tonight. Still all quiet in Beirut, and it's been quiet in Beirut for a long time now. Probably 2 hours it's been quiet in Beirut. The IDF says it intercepted a UAV over the Mediterranean Sea, dozens of kilometers off the coast of Israel. Unclear as of yet where the drone originated from. This is from Yemeni sources. A missile launched from Hodeidah targeted occupied Tel Aviv. That is from Yemeni sources. The Israel Defense Force confirms that the Air Force conducted a successful interception of a drone earlier, dozens of kilometers off the coast of Tel Aviv in central Israel. My only guess is that that drone is from Iran. And I base that off of nothing, but that is my only guess where that drone came from. Casualties reported an airstrike targeting upscale neighborhood in Damascus. Can News reports possibly a pinpoint assassination. Unconfirmed reports of more strikes in Syrian capital. All right, so Intel Sky, very reliable guy on Twitter. Love Intel Sky. He says Tel Aviv hit by second ballistic missile launched from Yemen. They're saying that Tel Aviv was hit by this ballistic missile, not that it was intercepted. Syrian state media is claiming that air defenses engaged at least 3 waves of Israeli airstrikes tonight on the capital of Damascus. Yemeni armed forces targeted occupied Jaffa with attack drone. Also, if you have, I don't know if this is new, but the Azadi Tower in the center of Iran's capital, Tehran, has turned red, a sign of revenge. Now, I believe it was yesterday. It was either yesterday or the day before, but some bridge in Iran turned red as another sign for revenge. Syrian media, explosions rocked the vicinity of the capital Damascus for the 3rd time in less than an hour. 4th wave of hostile missiles on the Syrian capital Damascus. Israeli Army radio, naval and air forces are ready to intervene if necessary. Sounds of outgoing artillery fire, drones, and helicopters heard by a CNN team's position close to the border. Several explosions, plumes of smoke, and flashes of light were also seen coming from the direction of the Lebanese village of Idasit, whatever town. Okay, we haven't been seeing anything go on with these cameras for a while. Let me see if I could maybe find a different camera closer to the border. Okay, here is a different camera feed. Looks like I switched cameras right at the perfect time because the other cameras we were following now is playing audio for some reason. Reports of an explosion heard near Saida. I don't know where that is. Initial talks of deaths on both sides and cross-border clashes between IDF and Hezbollah. Here is another video of that assassination attempt in Damascus. Now, Syrian media is reporting a fourth wave of explosions heard in the capital. There might be a fifth wave of airstrikes now in Syria. A fire is now occurring in Tel Aviv. Outside Tel Aviv. Not sure what caused that. Could have been from the missile earlier, but who knows? There's no real confirmation on what caused that. All right, so Iran-backed militias in Iraq reportedly launched missiles at the U.S. Victoria base near the Baghdad airport tonight. The missile launch pad was apparently found in some district of Baghdad, along with several Iranian-made Fajar-1 missiles that did not launch. So it looks like they found the launcher that launched a couple of rockets at U.S. Victoria base earlier today. All right, now I'm seeing reports of a huge squadron of warplanes passes through the sky of the West Bank towards the north. IDF are firing flares to try and find Hezbollah fighters in the dark. Hezbollah are using the firing of flares to find locations of IDF soldiers. Violent Israeli airstrikes in southern Lebanon. Not seeing anything on any camera here. I have a couple pages of cameras pulled up. I'm not seeing anything. All right, guys, I've been doing this for about 3 hours and 30 minutes. I think it might be time for me to stop, but if something else worse happens, I will always come back on. But I do want to stay a few more minutes just to see if the reports about the squadron of IDF jets moving towards the north is true or not. Because if the IDF planes are moving towards the north, then we're about to see some airstrikes. All right, I will be right back. Israeli bombing targeted the assassination of several figures in the capital Damascus. So they were assassinations in Damascus. A short time ago, the Air Force intercepted an unmanned aircraft in the sky of the Mediterranean Sea, dozens of kilometers west of the coast of Israel in the central region of the country. That's what we were talking about earlier. The UAV is intercepted off the coast of the center of the country. The echoes of the explosions were heard throughout Gush Dan. So I guess that's the Israel targeting that UAV over the Mediterranean. I guess that is from the reports of explosions that we were hearing about in Tel Aviv. They were hearing that drone being shot down. Here is the aftermath of an explosion happening in Lebanon.
السياق نفسه حزب الله أعلن في بيانه مساء اليوم عن قائمة أهداف جديدة ضمها إلى قائمة التي حدث هذه المرة عن إدخاله لأول مرة سلاح صاروخ يعرف صاروخ نور وقصف به مستوطنات. Apparently, Israel just failed an assassination attempt on a commander of the Al-Aqwazi Martyrs brigades in Lebanon. مدن أخرى مثل تحدث عن حيفا، تحدث عن بلدات في 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 محيط صفد، وتحدث أيضا عن نعور، وتحدث أيضا. Thousands of Israelis are praying for the safety of the IDF soldiers moving into Lebanon at the Western Wall. Thousands of them for the safety of the IDF soldiers.
All right, guys. The news has definitely died down now. I don't think much is going to happen, at least immediately. We've been going for almost 4 hours now, and still not a single word from Iran. So that's still quite a lot. Thought I just heard something in one of the live cams, but looks like not much is happening right now. So I guess I'm going to go ahead and end it here. But if something else happens, I will be back and I will stream again. But thank you all for watching. Please go ahead and subscribe to WOF Doom on Twitter, and also or follow us on Twitter and subscribe to us on YouTube. Our YouTube channel is World on Fire Doom. That is our YouTube channel. You'll be notified there of when we stream, and you'll be the most updated. Follow us on Twitter, because at the same time of me talking about everything that has happened, I'm also reposting news from not just Twitter, but Telegram and other sources as well. But anyway, thank you, everyone.